It's Wrestling Uncensored. What's next for CM Punk? Who's getting traded to SmackDown? And is Gunther the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time? Is he? Is he, Johnny?
It's tough to say, but I thought the match on Raw was quite good. It was probably the only good part of Raw this week, so give him that. If you could stay awake through that horrible episode of Raw, you got to watch a classic.
It was probably the only really good wrestling match I saw all week after watching Dynamite and SmackDown and Raw. I mean, nothing really stood out outside of Gunther and Gable in the main event for the Intercontinental title.
Well, technically, All Out happened this week, right?
Okay.
Sunday.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty good, but I'm saying, TV week.
For TV, yeah, that was the best match I saw, without question. I don't think anything else could compare.
Or even came close, right? What was the second best TV match you saw this week?
Oof, that's tough.
Right?
Was it Jericho and Guevara against Aussie Open? I think it was, and that's not exactly setting a high bar there. Ironically, Jericho and Sammy are in the ring right now, or talking to each other in Rampage.
AJ Styles and Jimmy Uso wasn't terrible tonight in the main event of SmackDown.
It wasn't great, though.
No.
I mean, Jimmy, Jay might be the better of the two, I think. When it comes to singles anyways, like...
Oh, yeah. It wasn't very
Jimmy,
good.
He doesn't have what Jay has. Jay has something, at least. Jimmy, you could tell he's a tag team wrestler.
Yeah, it was pretty boring for most of it, and then at the end it kind of picked up. Like the last few minutes of that match were good, but the first 10 were tough. Tough to sit through. So, yeah.
AJ
Gable and
too.
Gunther, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that was great.
Yeah.
But you had AJ Styles in there, and it's okay at best. That's not great. If that was Jay in there, I think it would have been better.
Yes. But I think only marginally better. And Leor says Jimmy versus AJ kind of dragged. Yeah, I agree. It felt very long. I liked the end and the confusion with Solo and all the stuff they did. I thought it was good. But the match itself wasn't great. Clearly the best match we saw in pro wrestling on TV this week, free TV, was Gunther versus Chad Gable. An incredible match. Gunther now the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. And his match with Gable was so damn good. All his matches with Gable have been great. He's had an incredible run. Great matches with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Gunther has done very, very well on this stretch as Intercontinental Champion. And he's pretty damn good. And I think back of the great Intercontinental Champions, and I think Gunther may be the best. We've had guys with the Intercontinental title. We've had guys have good runs with the Intercontinental title, but none this long. And I don't know if we've had any with this high level of in-ring action. I mean, Mr. Perfect was a great Intercontinental Champion.
Yep.
But, outside of that match with Brett, what were his great feuds? What were his great matches as Intercontinental Champion?
Well, just from what I remember, every time he wrestled, it was kind of a big match.
Yeah.
Like, even if he wrestled like Tito Santana, like, it was a big match.
Mm-hmm. But it was Tito Santana, and it wasn't Sheamus Gunther,
Yeah, but
and
like,
I mean no
wasn't
disrespect
exactly,
to Mr. Perfect, right? Like, Mr. Perfect is the man. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
if you're
but-
putting things in perspective, Gunther may be the best. He may have had the greatest Intercontinental Championship run ever. Match for match, You know, we've had some great Intercontinental champions. I'm seeing Jimmy James throw out Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat. Yeah, they've had good matches and as Intercontinental champion. They've had good runs as Intercontinental champion.
Bret's
Santino had a
big
great run
because
as Intercontinental champion, right?
I mean Bret beat Perfect at SummerSlam and then beat Piper at WrestleMania. How many people can say they beat Piper at WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
And then he dropped it to Bulldog at Wembley in another
Exactly.
big,
Like
famous match.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Bret might be the best.
There's a lot of debate.
Brett might
There's a
be
lot
the
of debate.
greatest
Even
Intercontinental champion of all time, but Brett might be the best everything of all time. Like, he's the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Outside of Bret
you can
Hart,
even,
you know?
well, you can argue even Shawn Michaels. Like, regardless what you think of him as a person, like in terms of the matches, the big matches too for the IC title,
Yeah, with
like he
Razor.
pushed that like crazy
Mm-hmm.
with Razor. He even like with Brett as well.
Yes. But I think Gunther is in the conversation, which says a lot. We're talking about Gunther at the level of Brett, Shawn, Perfect, the great Intercontinental champions in the history of the WWE. And Gunther is up there with them. I don't know if he's better. I mean, it's pro wrestling, it's art. It's hard to say who's better, who's worse, whatever. They've all had great matches. Shawn Michaels, that match with Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship in the ladder, with the ladder at WrestleMania 10, it changed pro wrestling. Bret Hart, like you mentioned, the matches that he had, Perfect, Piper, Bulldog, those were huge for the Intercontinental Championship. But Gunther's had a hell of a run, and the fact that he's held it longer than any of those men that we've discussed is pretty impressive. It's quite a run with that belt. It's a historic championship. It means a lot to pro wrestling. It's a very respected belt, and sometimes it takes a back seat, and it doesn't get the shine, and it doesn't get the respect that it deserves. But Gunther has brought a high level of respect back to the Intercontinental Championship. So I'm very impressed with Gunther. Everything he does, phenomenal. And the match with Chad Gable, again on Monday night, was so damn good. And yes, Alex Tarras saying that I was the first guy to talk about Chad Gable. I'm not here to take credit for Chad Gable's rise, right?
One of my favorite moments was like they had the kids at the end crying. Like that was like done perfectly. Like if they set that up, like wow. I don't think they did actually set that up for the kids to cry like that, but that was like right on cue.
That was rough to watch. I didn't like seeing his daughters crying. But I think we had Alex Tarras on the video saying, I was the one pushing for Gable and everything, and it is nice to see Gable get his shot finally, right? It's nice to see Gable, a guy who I have pegged as a top star, a top talent in the company, and I never understood why they didn't do more with him. It's nice to see him finally get his due from pro wrestling and pro wrestling fans. And it's nice to see him get this kind of time to have a match with a guy like Gunther. Like, it was a real showcase of Chad Gable. As much as Gunther is having a great run, it was also a really great showcase of Chad Gable, and I think it elevated the perception of Gable. And now after seeing that match, after seeing his family, after seeing everything that just happened, I think you could do a rematch at Fastlane and have Gable end the run of Gunther. I think you've done a lot to elevate Gable to the point where, okay, Gunther beat him on Monday. He beat him clean, but there was that other match where Gable won by countout. I think that they've planted the seeds where you can believe Gable beating Gunther. It's believable. And I don't know if he's going to be the one to end Gunther's Intercontinental title reign, but He's had the longest run of anybody ever. I don't think anybody's going to come close to breaking the record anytime soon. So why not put an end to it? I mean, how long is he really going to run for? At some point, he's going to have to drop the belt, and Gable wouldn't be the worst guy to do it to. So I'm a big fan of Chad Gable's. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing, this run here with Alpha Academy and the matches with Gunther. And I could see him being the next Intercontinental Champion. He's obviously good enough. I mean, he does some incredible things in the ring. Incredible. Smart guy. Great promo. Great look. Intensity. Comedy. He's got the three eyes. Intelligence, intensity, and integrity. I almost forgot the third eye.
Right.
How dare I?
Most important one.
Yeah. And Gable's got all of that. He's an Olympian. Tremendous talent. That Chaos Theory rolling German suplex that he does on everybody, no matter how big or small, unbelievable. He is as real as it gets in pro wrestling. And I love watching him. So that match with Gunther was perfect for me. It's exactly what I like in pro wrestling. Chad Gable and Gunther are exactly the type of pro wrestlers I like to watch. And I really, really like to see them getting their shine.
Well, there's no question he's a great wrestler, and yeah, it's great to see him finally get his moments. But I feel like he had one good match where they're like, oh, this got a good reaction. Let's run with this for a bit, and they had a little plan of a series of 3 matches. That's usually what they do. Maybe that hits a pay-per-view, maybe it doesn't, but this is what they have, like a series of matches. He got the trilogy, and I think usually at this point they kind of move on. So that's what I would expect. It was nice that what they gave him, and it will elevate him. Will they stay consistent with it is a big question. You look at a guy like Ricochet, who had that big match with Logan Paul at SummerSlam. What have they done with him since? He's just backstage with Adam Pearce telling, Seth, like, calm down, like, don't kill yourself. That's all he's really done. So, they come up with ideas for people, and they like things that kind of work, but they just kind of drop it afterwards. Like, and then he's just going to go back, I think, with this Alpha Academy thing afterwards, which is fine, but you'll kind of forget about this after a while.
I mean, I won't. I love the Alpha Academy. I think they're great. You know me. I've always been pushing for Gable, right? So you got to understand how hyped I am with seeing all this. And I'm thinking maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time where they really elevate him. Because, clearly he's got the ability to be one of the top guys in pro wrestling. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world today. He is. If you look at him in the ring and his matches and the high quality and the pace and everything, he's one of the best wrestlers going in the whole world right now. How do you argue?
Talent-wise, yes.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, yes, but he's not super over, though. Like, I don't know about
he's
you.
Getting there.
I never really had the feeling where it's like, oh, there's going to be a title change here. Like, I never had that suspense. Like, maybe he's going to change here. Like, never really had it. I didn't feel the crowd felt it either as well. Yeah, his kids got sad, but that's different. That's personal. I don't feel...
That's because everybody knew Gunther was going to break the record for the Intercontinental title, and he had to beat Gable to hold it for enough days to break the record. Everybody knew that match wasn't the one where Gable was going to win. That was clear.
But it also goes to show you that he wasn't strong enough. If that was a guy, if this was Drew McIntyre's first shot, and it's like, oh, we're going to put Drew in front of you instead. That was his first opportunity. Then you'd be like, oh, there's a bit of doubt there, where it's like, oh, they finally give it to Drew on this Raw out of all of them. Maybe it ends here. Like, Gable wasn't over enough. And the problem was, too, the way they started this. He shouldn't start off with a loss. If he had beat him, like, once, and then he beat him again, like, he had the draw, then he beats him with the count out, you kind of build towards that. But you just beat him the first time. So it kind of killed a lot of it.
I think you could bring it back.
Oh, you can always bring it back. But...
if you haven't beat Gunther, the fact that he has that count out win, I think you could still salvage something here with Chad Gable.
Well, wait and see. Fastlane's what, October 7th or something, or 6th? It's early October.
I see Alex Terrace. Yeah, it's early October. It's the 7th of October. Alex Terrace has a question about Kurt Angle being the manager of Chad Gable, and I'm purposefully never going to answer that question, Alex, because your next comment was New York Yankees lost 8-2 LOL. So you will never get an answer to that question. Get the fuck out of here with that Yankees laughter. Don't talk about the Yankees losing big time to me, because I will never answer your questions if you do that. Okay? I will answer somebody else's questions, like Angelo's question, who says, why would Cody be traded to SmackDown when he's the one who advocated for Jay to join Raw? Yes, we will talk about that, Angelo. We will address that question. We'll address all of that because you are respectful to me. You're not shitting on the Yankees. You do that, you're on my bad side. Big time.
You know, it's not bad if the Yankees lose, though. The more they lose, the better pick they get.
No, that's not. We don't have loser mentality like fucking Canadians fans, John. Oh, let's lose so we can be good in 6 years, you fucking losers.
I'm seeing some Yankee fans are actually happy with some losses now, actually, because of that. But
no,
the mentality's changing.
If you're really a Yankee fan, you're not happy for any losses. That's ridiculous. You don't need picks. Draft picks in baseball don't mean the same. It doesn't matter. That's not how baseball works with draft picks. Who cares?
The mentality's changing, though. You gotta worry about your fan base. It's changing.
What? No, man. This is not hockey, John. Stick to hockey. The hell are you talking
about? That's coming up. Don't worry.
Bleh. That's how I feel about that nonsense. Don't get me started tonight, John. Okay? It could turn ugly.
Okay.
This show could turn so ugly so fast just based on, like, I could make this thing. It's been a rough week, I understand. Oh, my God. This thing could get so horrible and ugly. But I'm going to try and restrain myself so I don't say something that I shouldn't.
Well, you got to watch along tomorrow, so we'll try to keep you...
Plenty of time for that. Yeah, exactly. We're going to do a watch along tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time for the UFC pay-per-view. Myself, Freddie, AJ. All right. Let's do trivia so I don't say something crazy. All right? Let's have a little fun, and then we'll get to Angelo's questions and Lior's questions. But not Alex Terrace's questions.
They're showing Hook, but they're not showing nothing of Jungle Boy right here.
Yo, they got to fire Jungle Boy. They have to fire Jungle Boy.
You would think, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
They really should, because he's worth not much, and they have to set an example. Like, hey, don't go into business for yourself. Hangman might be able to do it, but not Jungle Boy. You got to recognize, like, I saw something today where it's like, if Jungle Boy's dad wasn't Luke Perry, what would he be, really? And it's like, yeah, fair enough. Where would he be? Would he be in AEW? Would Anna Jay be interested in him?
Well, regardless about that, he knew the right people, and he had an in. That's it, and he took advantage of that. However, if you're thinking of dollars and cents, he cost AEW probably millions of dollars.
Yep. It's real glass.
So
that guy, I mean, if he doesn't get booed out of every building he ever goes to for AEW, I don't know what's wrong with that fan base. But if AEW is really coming to Montreal in December, like you say they are, I see the tickets are available on Ticketmaster.
It's happening. I don't know if I'll go, though. I said last night on your chat, on your show, I wasn't going to go to Collision. Yeah. However, been made aware that people I know might be wrestling on that show. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go to Collision. I'll try to go to Dynamite. Maybe I'll go to both, but I was talking to my son and his mother about Dynamite and possibly going, and I think I'm just not going to bring him. I don't think it's appropriate for a 6-year-old. Like, we've got tickets for the WWE shows. I brought him to Elimination Chamber. But Dynamite, it's like, there's blood. There's a lot of cursing from the fans and the wrestlers. Like, it's not really kid-friendly, which I think hurts AEW, because wrestling audiences, like, especially when you're playing big arenas, you want to sell tickets, and a lot of those tickets are being sold to kids. You want to market to your new fans that are going to grow up with your product, and those are kids. Why are all of us WWE fans? Well, because we grew up with it. And we remember when it was great and magical, and we're still here hanging on for some reason. It's not like it's still great and magical when we fucking watch it, right?
Kids.
Why are we into it? Because we got hooked on it as kids. And if you don't hook your fans as kids, where do you get your fans? So AEW, like, it's just not appropriate for children. It's not. It's an offensive product, even for adults, So I don't think I'm going to bring my son to AEW. You got to wait till he's older. But WWE's getting money for a WWE ticket for the house show that they're coming in, December 28th. I already got my tickets for that.
Wow.
WWE is a safe environment for kids.
It is.
A lot of kids at WWE shows. A lot of it is marketed to the kids. And the fans aren't constantly swearing, and the wrestlers aren't constantly swearing and bleeding. It's not as bad at WWE shows, because at AEW it's encouraged by the talent.
Just remember Elimination Chamber. Doesn't matter sometimes where you're at. If it's the area, Montreal, I think, is a very raucous kind of crowd, and they're not afraid to say what they want.
Yeah, but it wasn't all night. Like, maybe there was a chant of rude things at some point. I don't really remember, but it wasn't like for
Roman, like,
right. F you Roman, right? People were chanting that, right? Fuck you Roman.
Several times.
I put my hands over his ears, and but AEW, man, like, the guys are on promos saying that. When the people are chanting it, it's kind of harder to tell.
Right.
But I don't know. I like AEW. I'm going to buy tickets. I'll probably buy tickets for both shows, if we're being honest. Like, I'm saying now, maybe just Dynamite, but I don't know if I'll be able to help myself if I can get to Collision tickets too. I mean, what the hell? I like wrestling, Bryan Danielson might only be on one of the shows. If Bryan Danielson comes to Montreal and wrestles, and I don't have tickets for that, I'm gonna be pissed. The only reason I'm going to see AEW is to see Bryan Danielson.
I get you.
I saw tickets for Wrestle Dream were on sale, and I was like, AEW pay-per-view in Seattle? It's gonna be a pretty good Bryan Danielson show. Never been to Seattle. Seattle looks nice.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to Seattle, but okay.
I'm not going to Seattle, but I want to go to Seattle
dreaming.
Because seeing Bryan Danielson in a AEW main event in Seattle would be awesome. As a Bryan Danielson fan, seeing him in his hometown would be pretty dope, because those people go nuts for their guy.
Yeah, but look at the Collision roster now. I mean, how is he not in the main event in Montreal? They don't exactly have a lot of main eventers, so if he's going to be on Collision only, I think it's fair to say if he's not the opening, he's the main event, because it's his show in a sense now.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean,
but I don't know. I'm not too interested in Collision. I was interested in going to Collision, but no Punk. Like, I'm not buying tickets now. So
wow. It's funny how your favorite guy got fired, and now my favorite guy is taking over his show.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Brian's show now. Well, what? It's not like CM Punk was drawing any kind of ratings either. It's not Brian's fault. It's on Saturday night when no one wants to watch wrestling.
Did you see when Tony announced that he fired CM Punk? What happened with the ratings?
The
Like almost
ratings were
100,000
going to start
people.
tanking anyways. The ratings were in the toilet. And yeah, of course, with no CM Punk, you're going to lose.
No, but
I don't
when he
know how you
announced
sell
it,
Collision. I don't know how you're going to sell Collision. You know why I'm going to go to Collision in Montreal? Because tickets are going to be dirt cheap and the building's going to be empty. Because Collision's not on TV in Canada. It's a B-level show. It's a taping. It's not even live. That is going to be mid as hell, and no one's going to buy tickets for that. Dynamite will sell out. Here's my prediction. Dynamite will sell out fast. Collision
probably, yeah.
won't sell a goddamn thing. They might cancel Collision. Like, it's going to be empty, and tickets will be easy to come by for Collision. If you don't get tickets for Dynamite, have no fear. Tickets for Collision will be, I mean, they should be half price. They won't
but
be.
It is the first time, though, in Montreal, so it might be that. Like how we saw with Wembley, like,
I
because the first time thing, people just come anyways.
Well, the first time will be Collision, but then the real show will be Dynamite, you know?
That's it. Could happen.
But without televised Collision, I'm telling you, people here will not buy tickets for that.
Oh, I agree with you. I think Dynamite will probably do a lot better than Collision. I mean, it usually does anyways, right? But
yeah. Yeah, that Collision
we'll
show was a bad idea as soon as it was announced. Like, I said it, even if they don't have CM Punk, even if they do have CM Punk, whatever, it's not a good night for wrestling. 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday night is not when I want to watch AEW, especially when you've given me Dynamite and Rampage already. I don't need it. I don't need Collision. No one was asking for this. And they gave it to you. Well, and now what is it? It's a 2-hour episode of Rampage. It's not special. It doesn't mean anything. It's not a big deal. It's just a continuation of the other nonsense that you're throwing out. And you know what? Dynamite, since Collision has started, has been watered down. So now the whole show is watered down. Everything you do is watered down because the bar has been lowered so low and your talent has been spread so thin that now Dynamite kind of feels like Rampage too. Everything kind of feels like it doesn't mean anything because everything's spread out so much that big things that used to happen on Dynamite, where Dynamite kind of used to feel like an event every week, now just feels like a TV show that you have to get over with. You know, like it does not feel momentous like it used to. There were times when Dynamite on a weekly basis was delivering. Now it's like, yeah, it just feels like a long Rampage. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, it's AEW, but it's kind of, there's nothing great. There's nothing special. The matches aren't that big. I love Darby Allin, but the main event of Dynamite this week was Darby Allin versus Nick Wayne in a quarterfinal tournament match. Like, what? Where's the star power? Where's the money? Where's the draw? Oh, you fired him. But you know what I mean? Where's the other stuff that they used to have? There is just nothing. It is thin. And that's because of Collision. Since Collision started, the whole product, everybody across the board, it's just been weak TV. And you see it when they put everybody together on a pay-per-view. They could do a good show. When they have access to the whole roster, one show, one night, they can do it. But when they're spreading it out, they're like, this on Dynamite, this here on Rampage, this here on Collision. Then you start spreading it out, all your big matches, all your big talent, and there's nothing really there. So it's like, okay, there's 1 star on Dynamite, there's 1 star on Rampage, there's 1 star on Collision, instead of 3 stars on Dynamite, where you have 3 segments that are really good. Now you have 1 good segment, and then everything else is kind of... Like, MJF had his cool promo with Samoa Joe this week. That was good. Don't ask me what else happened on Dynamite. Because jack shit happened on Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing else happened on Dynamite. Roderick Strong did a promo where his parents were awful to him and wrestling saved him and he loves wrestling and he's supposed to be a heel. That happened. That was like, what the hell is this? Why am I getting sympathy for him? Tony Storm talked about her tits and
No, tits out.
Tits out, tits up, or tits, something. Watch out for the shoe. And then she threw a shoe at Renee. That was funny. But MJF and Samoa Joe, like, the show had 1 star. MJF. Everything else was like, okay. Next.
Well, some would argue Jon Moxley. I'm not saying the match was great, but I mean, Jon Moxley comes out, the people care. He got a big reaction.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his match with Orange Cassidy was really good. He's a star. I'll give it to you.
The match with AR Fox was kind of simple, but I mean, it's the opening match.
Yeah. It wasn't anything special. And it just kind of, it was one of those matches with Jon Moxley where you go, oh, here's Jon Moxley versus AR Fox. And, it's like Jon Moxley versus Jobber of the Week. And AR Fox is, he's a guy, he's on the roster, but he was just with Swerve. He just turned on all his friends. He went to Swerve's group, right? He was a babyface with some talent, kind of disappeared. Then he turns on his friends. He goes with Swerve. And then he gets kicked out of Swerve's group because he sucks, right? That's what happened. Swerve was like, you're not very good. You're out of the group.
Yeah.
Beats him up. And then Darby's like, oh, I like you. I was mean to you when I got signed, and maybe I didn't take care of you, and we weren't close enough friends, so let's be friends again. And all of this has happened in the span of like a month and a half. And then Nick Wayne is mad because Swerve and AR Fox nearly killed him at his house with all that blood. So Nick Wayne's like a little mad. That's why him and Darby wrestled, I guess. But I think it was just random part of the tournament.
I think it was random, yeah.
Why the hell is Nick Wayne, a guy who's won nothing in AEW, in a tournament to fucking get a world title shot? Why?
It's just randomness. That's all.
Why
it
is he there? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's so fucking dumb. It's like, you're getting a title shot if you win this thing. Why wouldn't you put top wrestlers in the tournament?
I think they had this belief of like, oh, let's put an 18-year-old in the main event of Dynamite. Show people that, we're going to have new stars. But
it doesn't look like
you're
that.
really forcing it.
It looks really bad. It looks bad, man.
It does. And it's face versus face, so there's no heat whatsoever. It's just, a bunch of moves back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know about you, I really can't stand that whole hit me and like, oh, you hit like an 18-year-old, hit me harder. Like, you're trying to win a tournament. It's not trying to tell them how to be tough, like in a match. I wasn't a huge fan of that.
I mean, I get it. Darby's trying to, be his
mentor.
But
it's a tournament match. Like, stop trying to be the mentor mid-match. Like,
I think he knows he's got the match won, and he's just trying to help him out.
makes kind of ridiculous.
Honestly, that makes sense to me. I was rolling with a guy today that I was just, I have way more experience, and I know, like, no matter what he does, I'm never in danger. So I talked him through it. Like, he was about to do something bad. I was like, no, don't do that. You're going to get swept if you do that. You got to maintain your balance. Like, you could teach guys as you're fighting them and beating them. Like, I knew whenever I wanted, I could end it and make him tap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that made sense to me.
In sparring, yes. Perfect sense. But when you're in this is supposed to be an actual fight.
But it's an actual match with a guy that he knows he can beat very easily because he's up here and Nick Wayne is a rookie who doesn't belong in this tournament. I get that. Because in no wrestling fan's mind do you think this is competitive. No one thought Nick Wayne was going to win. Like, I don't know. I didn't hate that. I just hated that he was in this tournament to get a world title shot, because what has he done to earn this right? Why is Hangman Page not in this tournament when he's a former champion? He won this battle royal. He's a big star in the company. Why not Hangman? Hangman's not in the tournament, but Nick Wayne is. Of course, Samoa Joe's in the tournament. Samoa Joe had a good promo with MJF, and Samoa Joe is about to beat Jeff Hardy in the main event of Rampage to advance in the tournament. Samoa Joe will take on Pentagon. Penta won his match earlier tonight on Rampage. And it'll be Penta and Joe, I think, tomorrow on Collision. And then Darby.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and then Darby will take on Roderick Strong, also tomorrow on Collision, I believe.
Yep. I believe you're right.
And then the then the finals will take place on Dynamite this week.
Well, yeah, because Grand Slam is the week after.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, we got to get this done quick.
Quick tournament that Samoa Joe has to win. I hate that.
I want
when you have a guy in a tournament who's cutting promos with the world champion who you get to face when you win the tournament.
Yeah, but Roddy did one too, though, against MJF. So.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Possible.
They're doing two different possibilities.
Yeah.
It'll probably be Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe in the finals. Right? And then you wonder who will win. That's the best way to do it, I would think. Two heels, though, I would
think. I would, because that's it. You know, Darby's in it, so I never count Darby out.
Yeah.
So it could be Darby against Joe.
Darby and Joe is a hell of a match, too.
Right.
Wouldn't mind seeing that again. I feel like Joe's going to win that tournament. Samoa Joe versus MJF at Grand Slam. That's a cool match. I like that.
No, it's good. That promo was obviously, like you said, the best part of Dynamite. Yeah. What I liked about it, it's not just MJF talking. Like, Joe got to talk back a lot, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of showed you, like, Joe can cut a good promo. Like, I wish they give him more promo time.
Yeah. Relax, Joe. Off the cuff, Joe.
Yeah.
Really good. Joe kept calling MJF kid. MJF didn't like it. MJF talked about how he was a security guard when he was like an extra in WWE, and Samoa Joe pushed him and can't push him around anymore. It's good stuff.
I'm not a fan of, like, let's play off a WWE thing, but whatever. I mean,
yeah.
they don't have anything else.
It's out there, though, you know? Like, it's out there online. Right. People have seen that clip a lot of Samoa Joe just tossing MJF aside. I think you kind of have to address it at some point. It makes sense. It's on
Joe's
Twitter.
Response was fantastic. Like, that was the best.
Joe's response?
Yeah, like, oh, you pushed me around because I was like, I'm just a little guy you could push around because you knew you could. And he's like, no, I didn't do that because of that. I did it because you're a bitch.
John won't even say bitch. Bitch.
That was beautiful, no? Like, that's perfect to what the Joe character is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was good. Joe came off really, really well here. He attacked MJF, put him down, set up the muscle buster, but Adam Cole came out to chase him off. And MJF was like selling a neck injury, and Joe was like calling him a bitch from the stage. It was pretty good.
I felt like that was ad-libbed a little bit too. I think maybe they had some extra time. They just told Joe to go out there again, and like, yeah, why not?
Yeah. No, that was very good. I really liked that. I like Swerve and Hangman's promo too. I thought Swerve was pretty good. Getting in Hangman's face.
Swerve was.
Kind of motivating Hangman, trying to motivate Hangman to be his old self, saying, you know, you got all these opportunities, you were a world champion, and now look at you, you're on a pre-show battle royal. Yeah. And then Hangman is like, I'm done with this shit, I don't want to deal with it, and he just kind of leaves, sad cowboy. And then Swerve says something about Hangman's wife and kids, which makes Hangman go back into the ring and get all mad, and he got in Swerve's face, and then Brian Cage attacked him from behind and hit two just nasty moves. A powerbomb and then a something drill claw. I don't know what the hell.
The Steiner screwdriver.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Scott Steiner used to do.
God damn. And Brian Cage will wrestle Hangman on Dynamite next week, which should be good. But I thought the promo was pretty good. It was weird a little bit from Swerve. Like, why is he trying to motivate Hangman to become the guy? that he once was, but also challenging him to a match, kind of. It was a weird
Well, he just
approach,
kind
but
of.
not bad.
It's like saying, "Hey, you used to do this, you used to do this. Like, what happened to you? Like, you should shape up, or I'm going to take your spot."
Well,
And that's the whole idea.
Swerve was saying a lot of things that I think AEW fans have been feeling. Like, what happened to Hangman?
I mean, he just never got a rematch, which is kind of ridiculous.
He got fucking put to the side, man. He got CM Punk'd. I mean, look what happened. You know, Hangman's match he wrestled, I think, last week on, I want to say Collision or Rampage. He wrestled some guy.
Rampage.
An indie guy.
Yeah. Brian Keith or something.
That was his first singles match since March.
Since Moxley.
What the hell is that? What is that? What have they been doing with Hangman? Like, why hasn't he been wrestling as a singles? He's a former world champion. He was their hottest babyface at one time. What happened?
Swerve said, like, you got too comfortable being the backseat of the Elite. And that's kind of what happened. Like, he just, once the Elite got back together, just all being part of the group again, that was it. He kind of got lost in that.
Oh, he finally saved AEW from CM Punk, though. Got rid of him.
I think Jack Perry did, but
I think Tony Khan did.
You know, that's something that'll never sit right with me, is that Tony's speech about fearing for his life. Like, I'm getting Vince McMahon feels like off that when the whole Brett screwed Brett thing. Like, just like
Punk screwed Punk.
A bad feeling. No, but just like how you look at Vince and it's like, oh, this guy's actually a jerk. Like, and I feel Tony, like, he just did it to kind of save himself. And save the company, I guess, in his eyes. But, you know, like, a lot of that wasn't believable.
No. And like I said earlier this week on Twitter, right, I said, you know, when Tony Khan is in Gorilla, he sees Jungle Boy say what he said, you know, real glass, cry me a river. He sees this.
Yeah.
He sees CM Punk. He knows Punk is next. You got to step up. You got to stand up. You got to get between people. You got to tell CM Punk, I would honestly have cleared everybody out of that gorilla position, the go position, whatever they call it. I would get everybody out of there except for the essential staff that needs to be there for production purposes, right? But I would clear everybody out. I'd be like, when Jungle Boy gets through this curtain, I don't want anybody in here. Punk, Joe, refs, whoever, everybody gone. And you got to sell it like you're going to rip Jungle Boy a new one, even if you're not. You got to make everybody believe that you're pissed, and when Jungle Boy comes through, there's going to be consequences and repercussions for his actions because he just went into business for himself on live TV. Now, if you're Tony Khan and you don't recognize that something has gone wrong, you're not in the right position. You shouldn't be running this company if you can't recognize that something was about to go down. Clearly, when I see Jungle Boy say that shit, I'm going to look over at Punk and go, are you cool? Are we good? Maybe you should hang back. Maybe you should not see him when he comes through the curtain because he's going to be hot. And you're getting ready for your match, so you're hot. You're both running hot. You're both amped up. You're both ready to put your bodies on the line. Jungle Boy just went through some shit. You're about to go through some shit. Maybe when you're amped up and the adrenaline's going, you shouldn't meet each other right now. Everybody out of Gorilla, I'm going to deal with Jungle Boy. And you say, Jungle Boy, you're not Jack Perry anymore. You're Jungle Boy again. You've been demoted to a Jungle Boy. And you're also fired, by the way, because you just did the thing that you shouldn't do by talking shit on TV about our top star. I mean, it's not that, and even if you're not going to fire Jungle Boy, just say, hey, man, you shouldn't have said that. Get out of here. And by the way, CM Punk is that way. You go the other way. You two don't see each other. I want you to get your shit and get the fuck out of the building. I'm going to figure out what to do with you later. And you got to have that command over your talent because, by the way, you're paying the checks. You're writing the checks. You're paying these guys. You're dealing with these people. They're your employees. What are you doing? Get a hold of the goddamn ship. But no. It's the inmates running the asylum over there. And that's why CM Punk is gone. But you got to anticipate that shit. You got to have an enforcer. You got to have somebody that knows what's about to go down. Shame on him. Real disappointment. Because now wrestling fans don't have CM Punk, and AEW is in a worse position. Are we having internet issues again, Sean? Did I just lose you again?
Did I lose you, Dave?
Yeah. I'm losing you. We're bumping out. Something's going on. I think we're back. We're having some connection issues tonight. I think we're back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. You're good now. You're not frozen time anymore.
It's just such a disappointment. What has happened with AEW and with CM Punk? And, we're hearing all sorts of different things coming out now. Like the Young Bucks wanted a period of 6 months with no issue with CM Punk, and then they would consider working with him. And that's the story from The Observer, and who knows? Who knows? There's interest from all sorts of wrestling companies. Impact and the NWA apparently are interested, which, no shit, they're interested. You'd have to be a stupid wrestling promoter to have no interest in CM Punk. He could revive your product. He could make people watch NWA or Impact, which they're currently not really. They have a small fan base, but it's not really making noise in the wrestling space. And if you had CM Punk, obviously. And then, of course, everybody's pointing to the WWE Survivor Series is in Chicago in November. Wouldn't be a bad place to bring in CM Punk. So, I think CM Punk should go to WWE. I think there are a lot of fresh matchups there for him. They have a lot of structure. They have somebody in charge in Triple H who could recognize when shit would be, about to go down and he could put a stop to it. They have a lot of people that have been in the wrestling business for a long-ass time and they understand how the wrestlers and how it all works. If Punk could play ball and play nice, I think WWE would be a great spot for him. Why not? Lots of great matches. As long as he understands he's not the top guy anymore, I think they could do a whole lot.
They have a great story they could put in place here. Because I don't know if you've seen the whole thing, like when Punk left his last match, he's got the title on his back and he's going like this. So, I mean, he's opened the doors open right there for him and Roman, for the real world championship.
Yeah. Does anybody recognize CM Punk as a real world champion compared to Roman Reigns? I don't think there's any debate on who the one is. I don't think there's any debate on who the top star in wrestling is, who the tribal chief is. CM Punk is cool and all, and CM Punk is great, but he's not in the prime of his career. Roman Reigns is primed, and he is the top of the top. He's the biggest star in pro wrestling. So Punk could set up that match and whatever, but I hope he knows that he's taking the spear and he's going down 1, 2, 3. Punk's not going to beat Roman. That would be crazy, and it wouldn't happen. They're not doing that. I don't think they'd ever do the Roman match because I think Punk would want to win a few at least going in. Maybe eventually he'd job to Roman, but I think Punk and Cody would be real interesting. Punk and Kevin Owens was one that was thrown around. That was a rumor. That's a possibility. I think there's a lot of history there. Could be interesting. Punk and Sami Zayn. Punk and Seth Rollins.
Debatable there.
Punk, yeah, well, but exactly. I mean, could they work together? Could they figure it out? Seth has said some pretty nasty things about Punk publicly. I don't know. But there are matches there to make. I mean, let's not forget, John, the word is it was the Bucks that didn't want to work with CM Punk. There was heat, but it was the Bucks that didn't want to do it, not Punk. So if Punk goes to WWE and Seth Rollins doesn't like him, but if Seth is still willing to work with him, Punk, I think, would probably still be willing to work with him. Maybe you could get that match, which would be cool. I think could draw money. There's a lot of money drawing matches for Punk in WWE.
I agree. I think it's not going to be easy to get it done, though, because like you said, there's tension in the past, and for them to get it to work together, like, that might be tough. I think maybe a short little thing, like just have him like wrestle Roman and maybe give him a WrestleMania match. That might be all you're going to get, if that at most.
Yeah. But why not as an added attraction to what the WWE already offers, right? If he's willing to do it and it makes sense for them, why not?
I mean, if you want the biggest reaction at Survivor Series, that's what's got to happen. He's got to attack Roman at the end of the show or just come out. That
How about
music
CM
hits,
Punk?
like,
How about CM Punk and John Cena one more time?
no.
Come on. What?
No, we don't need to see that again. Like, come on, we talked about the Cena last week. Like, he's pretty much done at this point. Like, he does his little thing and that's it. But like, he doesn't really have big matches left in him anymore.
He wrestled today.
He did wrestle today. How was that match?
I don't know. I wasn't in India.
They'll never show that match, I imagine. I did see the CM Punk chants. I don't know if you saw that.
They were chanting for CM Punk in India for the WWE show there, which is hilarious. Yeah. Pretty good. So good for the fans out there in India who got their big WWE show today. Very cool. First time in 6 years, 8 years. I don't know. And I hope everybody from the WWE comes home safe because I think Booker T and William Regal, if I'm not mistaken, they came back from India like real sick one time. Like Booker came back and like missed a lot of time after the India trip.
Well, Regal, they thought he was going to die, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right? Yeah, India. I'm not going to India. You got to take shots. I'm not going anywhere where you got to take shots to go to. You know what I mean? Like if they got to give you medicine to go to a place, doesn't sound like it's safe for me. I don't want to go. Can't make me.
Oh. They're not paying you to go, so don't worry.
Well, that's true. No one's paying me to go anywhere, unfortunately. Maybe somebody will pay me to go away. I'll take that.
That sounds sad. All right, well, it's a horrible way to end the show. Let's not end the show that way.
No? You don't want to end the
going.
show on that? Pay me to go away. I'll do it.
You had some trivia, no?
It
Like,
really won't cost you much either, quite frankly. Just, $50, I'll go away forever at this point. I'm ready. Trivia. Okay, sorry, John. Trivia. Let's do it. You're going to kill me at this trivia again. Let's play a little game.
I have no idea.
Whoa, we got trivia. Are we ready?
Is that grown-up AI, Zev, right there?
I don't know. Ready?
Got long arms.
Are we ready? I think we're ready. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
So what's
you want
the
to
trivia
answer?
exactly?
Well, it's like wrestling trivia, See who knows more about wrestling. What?
Just random? There's no topic or anything?
No, I think it's just random. I'm frightened.
Jesus, might be
I think we're screwed. Yeah, we're screwed. We're screwed.
I'm frightened.
The production staff has made trivia for us, and then we'll see how good we are at it. Do you want to take the first question, or should it be me? Should we flip a coin? I got a loonie here on my desk. We could flip a coin.
Yeah, I'll take the first question. Actually, it's fine.
Okay. All right, question one's to Johnny. Oof. Who did the Great Muta last eliminate to win Battle Bowl 1992? What? These questions are... If this is an
Okay.
indication of the level of difficulty,
That's
we
not...
are screwed.
Well, we're lucky this is multiple choice.
Yeah.
Because you got to think Battle Bowl 92. If you know who wrestled on Battle Bowl 92, I forget exactly eliminations and all that stuff.
Right.
But Sting and Vader had a match. So it's not Sting and Vader.
Oh. Damn, you're good.
Okay, so it's halfway.
That is good.
But yeah, well, what, I got a 50-50 shot here.
33 and a third
50-50
chance.
shot,
Ask
so.
Scott Steiner for the math on this one. Fat asses.
And it's tough because they're both heels. So it could easily be either one. Left to right, left to right, left to right. We'll say Wyndham.
Barry Windham, baby.
Final answer.
Oh, he got it! Holy shit.
Woo!
Wow, Barry Windham, the winner of Battle Bowl.
That's why you gotta play multiple choices.
Yeah, well, you're winning already. 1-0, Johnny. I am worried. It's going to be like 10-0. The winner of Battle Bowl would receive a personalized gold ring that would symbolize that you were indeed the best in WCW. Cool.
DDP had the last one, I think. Not
Nice.
mistaken.
Man, I wonder if you could buy that ring somewhere. I bet you somebody owns that ring somewhere, you know?
DDP probably has his.
Nah, I bet you he sold it to somewhere. I bet you Conrad Thompson has it.
I don't know. I think DDP keeps a lot of his collection stuff. No? I thought he did.
I don't know what DDP does with his things, okay? Question 2. It's my turn. I'm worried.
Well, this is clearly WCW questions. This is not going to be easy.
Why are we getting WCW questions? Who was featured on the cover of the first official WCW magazine?
That's
PN
crazy
News,
hard.
Lex Luger, El Gigante, or Johnny B. Bad? I'm thinking it's either Flexi Lexi or Giant Gonzalez. Because Giant Gonzalez I would put on the cover of a magazine because he looks so cool. But Johnny B. Bad was getting pushed pretty good back then. Old Mark Muro, people really like Johnny B. Bad. I'm going to go with B. Lex Luger, the total package. Oh!
Honestly, that's what I would have done the same thing because he's the biggest star.
Who was it? El Gigante. Ah, damn it. I picked the wrong one.
Oh, damn it.
Steiner Brothers were also on the cover. The Dangerous Alliance and Sting had story features about them. Damn it. Oh, 1-0, Johnny.
That's a really hard question. Oh, I wouldn't have got that one.
I was wavering between, I almost... Oh, well. Johnny, who's the ring announcer for NWA and WCW during the late 1980s and early to mid-1990s? I know this one.
Well, it wasn't Cornette. It wasn't Finkel.
No.
So we're down to 2 here. I'll go B as well.
Yeah, I knew that one. See, I knew that one. That was one I actually knew. It sucks. Bullshit, Hulk Hogan.
You gotta, as long as you eliminate 2, then you have a 50-50 shot.
Gary Michael Capetta was the voice of such matches, including Ric Flair versus Terry Funk at Wrestle War 1989 and Sting versus Big Van Vader at Starrcade 1992, baby, in WCW where the big boys play. Look at the adjective. Play. You see LA Knight made fun of Kevin Nash on fucking SmackDown tonight? That was so good. If I was an idiot,
Kevin Nash...
I'd say, look at the adjective, but I'm not. I'm like, yeah, because Kevin Nash has been dissing LA Knight, right?
Right. That's why.
That's what you get, Kevin Nash. But kind of bold for a guy trying to get a push in WWE, taking shots at one of the boss's best friends in wrestling. You know?
Yeah, but I'm sure it was written, though, so I'm sure that's them just...
To your blood, you look to the click. I mean, I don't know. Ballsy.
Oh, I like Nash's podcast, so I'll look forward to his response.
Yeah. But I think Kevin Nash needs to get a reminder of whose game this is. Whose game is it, John?
Well, I guess it's Triple H's for now, sadly.
No, L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
how was there a right on that one?
Because it's L.A. Knight's game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love that guy.
That was a question?
Oh, he's so good, man. L.A. Knight's so cool. Okay, this is mine. Right?
Yeah.
Which of the following wrestlers did not have an action figure in WWF Hasbro Series 1? Series 1.
I mean, you're the action figure expert, right? So, I mean, you should get this, right?
Akeem,
Because you...
Dusty Rhodes, Brutus Beefcake, or Rick Rude. Yeah, I should get this, but I probably won't. But the name that jumps off at me, because I think I've seen figures for everybody.
Right.
I'm going to say Rick Rude, the Ravishing one. Bah! I hate this game. We're never doing trivia again.
We're never doing trivia again.
I'm losing 2-0 already. This is bullshit, Hulk Hogan.
It's very hard.
Dusty
trivia,
Rhodes. Series 1 had Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior.
I would have picked Dusty, yeah.
Really? I'm pretty
Dusty
sure I've seen a Dusty Rhodes Hasbro.
But not Series 1, though. Because Dusty was still, I think, in NWA at the time.
Series 1. I'm supposed to know the fucking series of these things? This is stupid. Fuck out of here with these questions. These questions suck, by the way. John, this is your question.
They're very hard questions.
Oh, this is not fair. Why are you getting all the easy questions to Johnny? Fuck out of here, man. Who did Becky Lynch defeat in her return to ring debut after giving birth? A, Rebecca Quinn, B, Bayley, C, Sasha Banks, or D, Bianca Belair? Gee, I wonder what this one is. I wonder if it might be fucking... Well, I'm not giving it to you, but I mean, you know it. It's stupid.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to remember where it was again. It was... she came back, and she beat someone, like, super quick, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Bianca.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Thanks for the anticipation. Clearly, it was Bianca Belair. Or whatever.
Well, I just wanted to remember. I forgot for a second.
So easy. John's beaten me 3-0 so far. Here's another question I'm going to get wrong. Who is the first Nexus leader?
Yeah, there you go. That's not bad.
I know this one. I'm afraid I've got some bad news, John. I've got my first right answer. It's Wade Barrett.
There you go.
3-1, Johnny. John, you got all yours right, though. This sucks. I'm never going to catch up. John, your turn. Who is the first King of the Ring champion? A, Randy Savage, B, Ted DiBiase, C, Don Morocco, or D, Owen Hart?
It wasn't Owen. I don't think it was Randy. And I don't think it's Ted. I want to say Don Morocco.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, clearly Don Morocco.
Again, it's the elimination thing.
Twice. That was easy, though. Come on. Too easy for John.
Not really.
All right, here.
Not that easy. That
4-1, John. You're winning. I can't even catch up, I don't think. Here's my question. Which of the following did not have a WCW Galoob action figure made for them during the early 1990s? Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
This is so tough.
I don't fucking know. I have no clue.
It's like rigged so you get all the hard questions. It has to be WCW stuff, too. Well, I feel bad for you.
I'm going to go with Z-Man. Cool. Fuck this game. Johnny B. Bad didn't have a figure. Okay. Fucking John.
Z-Man had a figure. Wow.
Apparently. Where did Kane originally come from? What? Tennessee, Spain, England, Trinidad. What? What are these questions? This trivia is just pissing me off more. You know how I said a show could turn dark and mean, and I thought the trivia was going to be the savior of that? I think it's just making it worse for me.
If I'm not mistaken, Kane was born in Spain, right?
What?
Woo!
What do you mean he's born in
Yeah,
Spain?
yeah, that's a trick question because I knew about that. If you check his birth, he's born in Spain.
I don't have an answer for that one. Okay. Kane is from Spain? Like Glenn Jacobs is
Yeah,
born in Spain?
yeah, that's a trick one though, but that's good.
Okay. Spain.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
question 10 for me. Who hosted WrestleMania 33?
Which I guess we reviewed, obviously, by that WrestleMania photo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. It wasn't Evolution. It wasn't Pitbull. It might have been John Cena, 33. What are we at now? 47 years ago?
Did John Cena ever host a WrestleMania? I don't think he did.
Yeah, he did. The time when he wrestled Undertaker in that really short match. Remember, he didn't have a match. He was just the host. Wasn't he just? Oh no, or did he just buy a
I
ticket?
thought he was just in the crowd. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought he was
just in
the
crowd or
host.
something.
I'm gonna say the New Day. Oh, I fucking got one.
There you go.
I'm losing big time to you. I've lost count of the score. The New Day.
There you go.
All right. Who holds the record for most victories in the Royal Rumble? Oh, that's so easy.
Yeah, it is. But
It's
you know,
Steve
it's
Austin.
okay to get easy ones.
Yeah,
It is Steve Austin. Yes, I know.
Yeah, everybody
It's
knows
okay
it's
to get
Steve
easy
Austin.
ones.
Who's the youngest champion in the world heavyweight category? It's Randy Orton. He beat Chris Benoit.
So there we go. We evened out on that one.
No, he didn't. You still won this game big time. Stop trying to make me feel better. No one makes me feel better.
On those last questions, we evened out, so it was all right.
I mean, I got a few of them. Some of those action figure questions, I was like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, those action figure questions, way too. I would never have gotten those questions.
Some of those early WCW, early 90s WCW questions, like, I don't know. Those questions were weird because they either were, like, so hard and confused, like I had no chance, or they were, like, too easy, you know?
Well, it wasn't bad, though. I think we complained last time the first ones were way too easy.
Yeah, I guess these were better. These were better.
Yeah. These were better, yeah.
All right, well, these were better. Johnny liked them. I'm just not in the mood, I guess.
I like that. I didn't get the really hard ones. You got the really hard ones.
I got the stupid hard ones, and you got the, like, who did Becky Lynch beat at the fucking SummerSlam? I was like, come on.
It's a nice refresher, that stuff, you know? It's like, oh, yeah, like a match, meet somebody quick. That was Bianca. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, they had a year-long feud over it. They wrestled at WrestleMania and then at the following year SummerSlam again.
Yeah.
How do you forget?
Man, that was way too long.
Yeah.
A lot happens in wrestling. I mean, to be face it, like, it's not really that memorable in the end. Like, I feel like maybe they had one really... I think the Mania match was really good.
Yeah.
Or was it the SummerSlam match?
I think the
one of them was really good. The other one was...
yeah.
One of them was really good, but that was about it, though.
Yeah.
That's a long-ass feud. And by the way, like, Rhea versus Becky, like, we should not wait to WrestleMania for that. Like, that's way too long of a wait.
Is that the plan?
Well, Becky is going to NXT to face the champion there.
Yeah.
I hope they don't just put her in NXT. Like,
I think that's just to give their champion the rub of Becky Lynch, you know?
I hope you're right.
Rhea Ripley's going to wrestle Raquel Rodriguez on Raw Monday night. Did you watch Raquel Rodriguez and Chelsea Green?
I did.
Okay.
Sadly.
But
I almost fell asleep, I think, at a couple points on Raw.
Sure. But when Chelsea slapped Raquel, something changed, right? Because Raquel,
I guess,
killed her with that clothesline. Like, that clothesline was devastating. And then the powerbomb was like, she spiked her with that thing. It was like Chelsea slaps Raquel, and then Raquel's like she went angry, and she fucking nailed her with that clothesline and just smashed her with the powerbomb to win. I was impressed with the finish. The match itself was, the finish was intense.
Well, it's sad when they're already talking on television that the women's tag team titles are cursed. When that's now becoming a thing now on your television.
Yeah.
And this was a sad way to use one half of your tag team champions. Just to let them get absolutely destroyed. So that really shows you how great those tag team titles are.
Yeah. They mean very little. They mean very little.
This was one of the worst parts of the show. Like it seemed to go downhill a lot after this.
Oh, I mean, The
Until we got
Miz
to
did
the
a
event.
promo with an invisible John Cena. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
that
you
happened.
thought the Invisible Man wrestling was bad. You had the invisible promo. And Miz did his finisher on an invisible John Cena. It was really bad. It was really bad.
The worst part about it is not just the whole, like, he's play acting with an invisible person. He's like, acting out like he's having a conversation with this person and dragging it out. Like, this was like, even commentary was starting to talk about how stupid this was almost, because I think they realized how bad this was.
Yep.
Awful stuff. Never air that again.
Yeah, it's The Miz. The Miz is gonna wrestle LA Knight again on SmackDown next week. They made that tonight.
Thank
right?
you, draft. Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, LA Knight's kind of going on both shows, right? I don't know what the deal is with that.
It's popular. Why not?
Yep. Well, the fans want to see him. You buy a ticket to a WWE show, you want to see LA Knight, even if you're going to Raw. There's a whole thing with Judgment Day trying to bring in JD McDonough into the group, or maybe they don't want to bring him in, and Finn wants him in the Judgment Day, and Priest doesn't think he's ready, and Rhea's got her own plans, and I don't know what's going on there.
Well, Rhea wasn't on SmackDown, but she was on Raw.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I think she was in the India show.
Oh, yeah. Because it was supposed to be Becky, I think she was supposed to wrestle.
Yeah, but Becky had some sort of problem with her passport, and they didn't let her fly to India because she was somewhere on the way, right?
So Natty had to wrestle twice. Natty wrestled. That's when the CM Punk chance happened. It was when her first match with Zoe, and then she wrestled Rhea, I think, later on.
Why not just do a triple threat?
I don't know. They advertised so many matches, whatever, and Natty gets to wrestle twice. Not bad.
Yeah, but that's where Rhea was. Rhea was in India. That's why she wasn't on SmackDown tonight with the rest of the Judgment Day. But JD McDonough did beat Sami Zayn with some interference from Dirty Dom. Yeah. And then Sami attacked Dominic after the match, and JD didn't want to save him at first, but then he did go save him. And then JD was like, "Get out of the ring, Dominic, get out of the ring." And then JD just stood there to get beat up by Sami Zayn. Like, why wouldn't you also leave the ring, JD? That was weird. And I don't know. They're trying to bring JD into the group, but maybe he's not in the group. It's, unclear. Finn wants him in. The rest of them are not sure. And then Dirty Dom is trying to bring Jey Uso into the Judgment Day, and he did a little backstage talk with Jey Uso, trying to convince him that he could join the Judgment Day and find a real family with that group. A lot of people are mad at Jey Uso on Raw. Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle have past beefs with Jey Uso because of the things that he did to them while he was in the Bloodline, right? Now Jey Uso is on Raw, and Sami Zayn is trying to protect him. Sami Zayn's all happy to see Jey Uso. They had a big promo to start the show, and they hugged. But other people are not happy with Jey Uso and his being on Raw now, and they don't fully accept that he's a babyface, And then at one point, Adam Pearce goes, "Hey, Jey Uso, be careful, The locker room is mad at you." And somebody from Raw is going to be traded now to SmackDown, and when the locker room finds out who that is, they might be really mad and looking to take things out on you. And I'm like, is this a professional athlete's locker room, or is this a prison yard where the warden is like, you might get shanked because the inmates are upset? Like, what do you mean, Adam Pearce? Watch out, Jey Uso, because, you can get assaulted in the hallways at this job, so be real careful. How about you treat it like a real situation where you go, Jay, I want you to be careful. I want you to stay over here because there's some guys that are upset. If anything happens to you, I'll make sure to reprimand them. They'll be in trouble, like it's none of that. It's like prison warden Adam Pearce going, watch out, Jey Uso. The inmates are mad. And it's like, aren't you the director of authority? Shouldn't you stop people from just assaulting talent?
That happens in wrestling? You would think, huh? But apparently it doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just such a weird warning from Adam Pearce.
Well, it makes it seem like it's just the outlaw, like kind of Wild West kind of atmosphere. Where it's just like, oh, anything can happen out here. I don't know if it's a dig, too. Maybe it's a whole dig on the Punk situation, possibly.
I didn't see it that way.
It's going to happen.
It's a stretch. That's a stretch.
A little bit. But I don't know. Like, I'm sure WWE, if they can take shots, they'll always take shots. Don't think they're not petty.
Yeah, no, I mean, they are for sure, but I don't think that was a shot. I mean, it didn't feel like it. It just felt like a weird warning from Adam Pearce. Like, hey, Jey Uso, be careful. People want to beat you up. Okay. So that's what Jey Uso is doing over on Raw. Cody wasn't on Raw this week. He's going to be on Raw Monday. Still not clear what the hell Cody's doing. And is he going to be the guy traded to SmackDown? That's like a question right now. Who's getting traded to SmackDown from Raw? Will it be Cody? A lot of people think it's going to be Cody. Who else could it be?
I thought we were supposed to find out tonight who's getting traded, but apparently not.
I thought so too.
Okay.
What are we waiting for?
And at first they said Io versus Asuka was like next week. Like that's what Cole said, and then Asuka did the promo saying in 2 weeks. And Cole's like, oh, it's in 2 weeks.
Cole said next week on SmackDown, while the graphic said in 2 weeks. He was talking over the graphic saying next week, Asuka Io, but the graphic said in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, Cole botched that up. Obvious. Shotzi and Charlotte open SmackDown tonight, beat Io, Sky, and Bayley. And Asuka distracted Bayley and Io during the finish. And then Asuka took the women's title and paraded around with it and stared down Io. And they're going to do a match in a couple weeks' time. Paul Heyman and Jimmy Uso have this thing going on. Like, what is going on with Jimmy Uso? Like, what's the deal? 2-3 weeks ago, he hates Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wants to offer him a car, a new house. He wants to be the new right-hand man, main event Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso's like, no, I want nothing to do with you. I did this to save my brother. And then his brother quits. His brother goes to Raw. Jimmy Uso comes back, and he's like, I want to be back in the bloodline. I love you guys. And it's like, what happened?
Never kicked out.
I was never kicked out. I'm still with you guys. And Heyman's like, okay, you kind of turned some stuff down, but I guess, sure. I'll talk to Roman about this. And Heyman's like not really down with it, but Jimmy, like, what's the character motivation here for Jimmy? Why does he want back in the bloodline? It makes very little sense. And there's drama with AJ Styles. AJ Styles runs into Paul Heyman and kind of grabs him by his shirt, roughs him up a little bit, and then Jimmy Uso attacked AJ, which set up the main event. Jimmy Uso losing to AJ Styles clean after taking the phenomenal forearm. But then Finn Balor and Damian Priest attacked AJ Styles after the match, sent him into the ring as like a gift to Solo Sikoa, who was there, and then hit AJ with the Samoan spike. And Solo was kind of confused by the offering, like, what's going on here? And the Judgment Day kind of promo talking about how they're champion, they're tag team champions, they got Money in the Bank, they got the North American title, Rhea Ripley's the women's champion, and they did something that even the Bloodline couldn't do, even Roman Reigns couldn't do, which is take the tag team titles from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So they're kind of saying, look at us, we're more important than the Bloodline. There's something building here with the Judgment Day and the Bloodline, but then Finn and Damian beat Ridge and Butch, and then Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits come out, and all Bobby says to them as he stands right in front of them goes, you know, the Bloodline is crumbling. You guys are right about that, but it's not Judgment Day that's going to take over. It's us. So there's a lot of talk of like the Bloodline crumbling, and then Jimmy Uso wants to join them, and Heyman told Jimmy that Solo wasn't there tonight, but then Solo appeared at the end of the show. Is Jimmy in the Bloodline? Is he not? Is the Bloodline falling apart? Is it not? And then, like, why are Finn and Damian helping out Solo and Jimmy by beating up AJ Styles? The lines are really confusing. I'm not really sure where they're going with this, but the WWE is running a lot of new stuff, and I'm not really sure where it's going. You know, it feels like some new programs are being started here, and it's not really clear where everything is going to land. But there's a lot of talk about the Bloodline being over, and I think at a certain point, the Tribal Chief will come back, and when Roman Reigns comes back, he's going to start, you know, saying, hey, you guys said this, now this is going to happen. Jimmy Uso, you're back with us, da-da-da, this is here, this is there. I think Roman is going to right the ship, and maybe we'll see where it all figures after that. Because usually in the WWE, nothing really happens. Things just kind of happen in the background, and nothing really happens of real note. Nothing really happens that matters until Roman Reigns shows up. You know, when Roman shows up, that's when things start to matter. Before that, it's like, whatever.
And I don't know about you, it doesn't seem like we're going to get Roman until maybe after Fastlane.
Yeah.
Like the build to Survivor Series, I don't think Roman's coming back till then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of nothing going to happen for now. And the John Cena appearance that he has weekly.
Well, John Cena is saving SmackDown. You know?
Is he?
Well, SmackDown tonight wasn't great, and at least next week John Cena will be on the show. They need a star, and they don't have Roman Reigns. Like, he's filling in for Roman. I mean, you can feel however you feel about John Cena. Like, that's not the point. You recognize he's a star, and he's going to draw ratings. He draws ratings. People want to see him. He means something. Like, that's another thing.
Yeah,
a lot of these characters don't mean anything. Whatever John Cena does has weight to it. It means something. Like Roman.
Well, I worry about next week, though, because him and Grayson Waller, like, that's...
Yeah.
Oof, we've been down that road already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if anything, you're lessening the value of Cena by putting him in some bad segments. Where it's like you're not really going to anticipate those big Cena moments because Cena moments we've gotten so far, not great.
But, you know, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. We're cutting a promo on LA Knight tonight. LA Knight beats Austin Theory. There was a little bit, you know, John Cena's been involved with LA Knight. He was the referee. I could see whatever happens with Grayson Waller and Cena next week setting up possibly Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus LA Knight and John Cena, maybe at Fastlane. And I think that's really good. LA Knight and John Cena getting to team together. LA Knight getting a team with John Cena, I think would be really big for him. Nice big match at Fastlane for Cena. Give the young guys the opportunity to work with Cena. I think we might be headed in that direction with that, and I like that for LA Knight. I like that a lot for him. And I could see a tag team match leading into a singles match where it's LA Knight versus John Cena at some point.
Maybe. Like, I like your idea of a tag match, but I put Grayson Waller with The Miz, actually. the two talk show guys together. Maybe put Theory in the corner, but I feel like the two talk show guys together against, two popular guys.
Yeah, but you want somebody who could carry the match a little bit, and Miz and
The
Grayson
Miz.
Waller cannot. At least Austin Theory can go.
I agree, but I think their thinking is that the Miz actually, because he's the vet, right? So they'd actually want the Miz more to be involved with that.
Okay, but did they see the LA Knight match at like Miz and LA Knight? Miz is terrible. Miz and LA Knight at the last pay-per-view with John Cena as the referee. It was horrible. And LA Knight
But
against
they're still
Austin Theory
pushing.
tonight was not bad.
But yet we're getting LA Knight Miz next week. So
It's going to
regardless
suck
of
again. It's going to be very bad. It's unnecessary. I think you get rid of the Miz after that match and you do Austin Theory and Grayson Waller because they're like a tag team now. And then you do John Cena and LA Knight versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. That makes a lot of sense to me. I like the name too that the Waller said on commentary there. A-Town Down Under. Get it? Because he's Australian. It's A-Town Down
That's not bad.
Under. A-Town Down Under. I like it. It's a good name for their tag team. I think they have something there. They got good chemistry. I don't see chemistry between Grayson Waller and The Miz, but I see Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They've got something going there. I think they could be a good tag team. I like them together way more than Grayson with Miz, I don't want to see Miz. I don't really want to see Austin Theory too much, but I'd rather see him than The Miz.
I get you, but they're really pushing Cena Miz. Like, we're getting that in some sort of variation. Like, whether it's going to be a tag, singles, Cena versus Miz is going to happen.
Oh, God, I hope not. Maybe it'll be a tag, though. A tag makes sense. Miz and, yeah. LA Knight, though, he's getting a nice push. WWE's doing something with him, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. He's one of the very bright spots in the company. Like watching him do his thing is really fun.
Yeah, the interaction with Heyman as well tonight. So
yeah, it was good too.
Pushing things that could happen. Yeah, it's very interesting.
I like what they're setting up with him. A lot of good pieces. This is good. He's getting in the right position here to do big things over the next 6 months to a year. He's my pick to win the Royal Rumble. Yeah,
he's definitely a favorite. I think without question. It's way too early, but he's up there. But
everybody loves him. He's
fun,
man. The kids love him. The adults love him. He's translating to every demo of the WWE fans. He works.
But he's a big reason why you don't need to have Cody on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little crowded then. So
yep.
Cody should stay on Raw.
I agree. Who should go to SmackDown?
That's tough. Yeah, who should go to SmackDown? I mean, what does SmackDown really need from Raw when you think about it?
You know who I think should go to SmackDown? Sami Zayn.
Tell me. I guess.
It makes a lot of sense. Like, he's the only one protecting Jey Uso. He's really happy Jey Uso's there with him. Separate him. He's not tag team champion anymore. Him and Kevin Owens are always going to be linked together. Separate him. He's got beef with Roman Reigns. Jimmy Uso's doing weird stuff. Solo Sikoa's still there. Have Sami go back and have to deal with all that on his own, without Kevin Owens, without Jey Uso. Sami on his own over on SmackDown. I think there's still a lot of stuff you could do with Sami. Sami could rejoin the bloodline. Like, he could.
I don't see that, but okay.
I mean, you never know, man. There are ways to turn the story into... But I feel like Sami Zayn right now would be a good piece to SmackDown. He would add a lot. There's not much to do on Raw. Him and Kevin, I think, are done as a tag team. They dropped the belts. You can move on. And Sami, I think, has unfinished business with Roman Reigns. I think you could still do more with Sammy and Roman. Revisit it in a different way, in a different angle, different perspective. I would do Sammy going over from Raw to SmackDown. I wouldn't do Cody. I wouldn't do Kevin Owens. I can't really think of any other top star like at the level of a Jey Uso where they could kind of have it make sense. I think Sammy is the best bet. Story-wise, it makes a lot of sense.
Randy Orton didn't get drafted, did he?
No, but I think he's still too hurt to do anything.
That's really sad if that's the case. But Randy would be fantastic to come back right now. Like, he could face Roman at any time.
Yeah.
Right away. Boom. Mm-hmm. Instant challenger. But anyone else on Raw, like, it's very slim pickings in terms of like a great challenger for Roman.
I don't see it as somebody going over to SmackDown to be a challenger for Roman. If you're looking at a serious challenger for Roman, I would put Gunther back there. Because I think Gunther could be a challenger for any world champion right now and possibly win. You know, have him drop the Intercontinental title to Chad Gable or whoever, and then he could be ready to move up the card into the main event. I like Gunther as the new world heavyweight champion on Raw, but yeah, I mean, he could do something with Roman. I don't think he'd win, but he could do something. How about Gunther winning the Royal Rumble?
There's possibilities. There's choices out there. You always can't disregard Cody, too. I know back-to-back wins, like, it seems a little much, but you never know.
I like what the WWE has set up right now because you've got a lot of wrestlers still in their prime of their careers who are hungry, who are looking to get to the top. You know, like, we just named 3 guys that are legit and they are building. You know, Cody, Gunther. Who's the other guy we said?
LA Knight.
LA Knight, yeah, of course, right? Like, those guys, they're building, you know? And I like them all. And they're all getting a push. Like, they're all good. Which doesn't happen very much with me in WWE. You know, where, like, the kind of guys that are next up, that are coming up, I enjoy them all quite a bit. And I feel like once they get to that spot, once they get to the main event, once it's all about those guys, man, the show can't miss. You know? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like the Judgment Day, what they're doing, too. They look cool as hell.
Too much. No.
They look cool as hell with all those belts, though. And that new Money in the Bank briefcase that Damian Priest has, the Senor Money in the Bank case with the purple. I like it.
Like, they're all over Raw, now they're going to be part of SmackDown. It's a little too much.
Yeah. When they came into SmackDown, I knew that they had a match. But when they come in on SmackDown and start doing their promo, I'm like, yo, I seen this on Raw. I don't need to see this again here, boys. Like, But I do like seeing Dominic Mysterio getting booed out of the building. Like, man, you can't hear anything Dominic is saying. Dominic is saying things, and I don't know what it is, because they're just ripping him.
He's good, but Dominic is terrible at keeping a straight face. Like, he's always cracking. Like, whenever they're booing, he's like big-ass smile. And when he had that face-to-face with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, like, smiling as well, when they're having a serious stare-down, like, he is terrible at keeping a straight face.
Yeah. He does break. Ray Cruz says, LA Knight is the only great thing in WWE. The rest is stale. I think LA Knight is definitely the best thing in WWE. But Gunther's not stale. The ring general?
Well, he's had a long title reign. He just keeps winning all the time. So I can understand where he sees that's a bit stale.
Angelo says Miz sucks altogether. Correct.
Angelo's right.
You see Gable Steveson got taken off the NXT roster?
That wasn't the big news I saw from NXT. I saw the whole, like, Steel Steps fiasco thing. I saw that, but
How
yeah,
is that
Gabe
big news?
Stevenson.
It was an angle they ran. Who cares?
Well, because it went to black, right? And everyone thought, "Oh my goodness!" Like it was like he got seriously injured. But then someone exposed it, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and like ruined the angle that they were trying to do.
If
So now
you're
that
right. So the Braun Breaker smashes stairs on Von Wagner, right? Who Von Wagner,
yeah,
I think his dad was one of the Beverly brothers. Do you know that?
I think so. I don't know who exactly, but
I think it was
I
Wayne
remember.
Bloom.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think it was, wait, it was either Wayne. Yeah, Wayne Bloom is his father,
Okay.
who was one of the Beverly brothers, and he wrestled. He was Bo Beverly. He was in AWA as Wayne Bloom. You know, he had a good career. His son Von Wagner took stairs to the head, right? But you see Braun Breaker take the stairs, and then the camera just goes black. Everything's black, and you can't see what happened. When they don't show you what happened, that means nothing happened. And then they sell it like, oh, he killed him. His brains fell out of his skull. There's blood. They have to take him. It's not real. It's not real. And if you're such a mark that you buy that he crushed his skull with stairs and they miraculously went to black just as the impact was about to happen, I mean, you deserve to get things ruined for you because you're a goddamn mark and you don't get what's real and what's fake. Like, come on, man. When I saw that, I was like, oh. I was like, first I saw the picture of Von Wagner getting wheeled out, and I was like, damn, what happened to this kid? You know, because it looks bad when you just see a still image of a guy with, blood on his head. I'm like, damn, did they kill him? What, was there an accident, you know? And then I saw the angle, and it's like, boom, fade to black, and you're like, oh, well, okay. It's just an angle they're running. He didn't actually get hit with anything because they would have shown it.
Right.
They wouldn't have shown the replay, but they would have shown it initially because it's a planned spot. If it went wrong, okay, they might not have shown it again, but in the moment, you would have seen the video. They wouldn't have planned to fade to black on the moment of impact and then miraculously bring you back when things are done. And then people are mad that there was a fan shot angle where you see the chair, the stairs not actually crushing his skull. Which, no shit! The stairs aren't crushing his skull. What are you, an idiot? Who is getting mad? Oh, you spoiled the angle. Well, you're a fucking dummy to think that it was real. You're really stupid. Who is dumb enough to be like, oh, it's mad, it's fake. I can't believe wrestling's not real. I thought he crushed his skull. What the hell is that? I saw people were getting upset at somebody exposing it. I'm like, it's not exposing anything. They're just showing you what actually happened. They're showing you the impact and lack thereof, which you should expect having watched wrestling. You think people are really smashing each other's heads in with fucking stairs? What? What who is mad about that? I did see a couple people were like, what are you doing? And people that posted the video were like, I'm taking so much heat. And I'm like, really? What is wrong with these marks?
Well, let's not forget that people still think the Punk versus the Elite stuff is just a big, elaborate work. So,
oh god, people really have no idea how to differentiate reality and fantasy these days. It is really bad. The internet is not good for people. I am convinced of it. It's just bad because there's so much misinformation out there. And people don't have the capacity to reason anymore. They can't reason what's real and what's not. I'm not just talking about wrestling, but just in general, I've noticed that people just have no concept of what is reality anymore because they're given so many so-called facts on the internet that their brains can't see through the fog. Half of these people are reading the internet and then coming to you with these crazy theories. And it's before the internet, they'd be reading the National Enquirer. You know what I mean? And they'd be coming to you with these crazy theories from the National Enquirer. And you go, yo, there's a reason why it's in this shitty-ass newspaper because it's fake. But now all that shit's on the internet, and people are like, this is real. It's not real, okay? Pizza parties and all sorts of dumb shit. I'm talking about AJ mostly and all the dumb shit he sends me. Fucking ridiculous.
Well, I'm free from all that kind of stuff. But
oh, you're lucky. You're very lucky you're not in our group chat. I told AJ, like, stop sending me this dumb shit. Some guy saying he had sex with Barack Obama. It's like, he's not credible. AJ's like, I believe him. I'm like, AJ, you're dumb. I don't know why you believe him. Like, it's not smart to believe him. He's not a credible person. Where's your bullshit meter? People don't have that.
Well, when it comes
AJ.
to wrestling,
AJ's the best.
People just enjoy what they show you. You know, don't worry about like what's going on behind the scenes. Like, it's not really that important in the end. Just enjoy the show, what they give you.
Yeah, but if you're watching the show and you actually believe that the man's head was crushed by stairs, like, what? And then you see a video on the internet and you're like, oh no, I thought it was real. What's happening?
Yeah, but it's not worth getting all mad about all this. Like, oh, you showed this, you shouldn't show that kind of. That's not really that big of a deal to get mad about. Just enjoy wrestling. That's it. Like,
there's a lot of fake outrage
it's not hard.
too. People get mad about everything, man. Yeah.
A lot of frustration. Well, you know, it's a different world now. No more Punk, so it's tough now, I think, for a lot of people.
It's a different world now without CM Punk. He's really made a big difference in the world. CM Punk not being in AEW hasn't changed my world at all. I mean, it's a thing that's happened, but it hasn't made a real difference in my life.
Well, you didn't watch Collision, so I mean,
exactly. There you go.
You whatsoever. For me, it's like, well, TSN, cancel.
Yeah, good. Cancel TSN. Shithole. Fucking TSN. Fuck TSN. Bunch of fucking geeks, man. Get it together. All right. When's your next match? When can people see you?
It's actually going to be October 1st, so I won't be here for the Wrestle Dream watch along.
Show.
Oh well. Yeah. Sorry about that, but you know, wrestling, Torture Chamber in Laval. It's going to be a big show. So looking forward to that. More details in the upcoming weeks.
All right. And you could see me here tomorrow night for something. UFC 293 watch along. I'll be watching the fights with AJ and Fred, Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland in the main event. And we'll be watching it. So, that's it. I will be back tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to Ray Cruz, Angelo Contagonis, and Lior, and all the members supporting the Ringside Report Network. Angelo, Lior, Ray, thank you very much. Join.ringsidereport.net is where you need to go. Join.ringsidereport.net to support the Ringside Report Network. Thank you. I'll see you again tomorrow night for some fights. Right here on the Ringside Report Network. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.